What's good, YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Last in Conditioning. My Rios athletic bodybuilding is basically just bro training, or also what used to be called power building. If we go back a few amount of years, basically the gym bros would be advocating for compound-based movements, not a lot of the machine work that we see basically advocated nowadays. And my Rios response to this is what he calls athletic bodybuilding. But there's nothing inherently athletic about it. Athleticism is very different from sport to sport. If you're a strongman, what's considered athletic within that branch is different versus being a football player or basketball player or an MMA fighter or something else entirely. What's athletic within your sport is very different and requires very different tool sets to actually use to become good at that particular sport. The athletic bodybuilding is really just bro training. That's all it is. There's nothing inherent, special or magical about it in any way, shape or form. Does it work? Absolutely. But it's not inherently athletic. The athletic bodybuilding that my Rios have dubbed it basically is really just power building with a new name. Power building back in the day used to just be you do your squat, bench, dead and do that in the heavy rep range, and then you do all of your assistant exercise in a moderate to high rep range. And that was essentially all it was. And this style of training is very common amongst strength athletes, both powerlifters, strongmen, Olympic lifters, where we will do our big movements first, and then we will do our smaller movements with a focus of high repetition and actually working on our weaknesses to round out potentially problem areas and prevent potential issues or solve issues if we have them. So there's nothing like weird or strange, magical about my Rios athletic bodybuilding, and absolutely works with the same type of principles, but it's very old, and it used to just be the way that was promoted to train here on YouTube in general amongst the online fitness space, because people enjoyed it. And it used to basically be like everybody would be asking, how much you bench, bro? And that would be the reason for people training in this particular way, because then they could basically up their bros by telling them how much they bench. My Rios tends to try and make his athletic bodybuilding sounds like something completely new and unique when it's actually not. Like I said earlier, it's old, and it actually also used to be the way that the vast majority of bodybuilders 10 to 15 plus years ago were trained. We can look when like Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler was competing. That was the way that they would be training. They weren't going to use a lot of machine. They would be using some to round off problem areas. Basically in the same way that strength athletes would actually train. And that was actually the reason why the bodybuilders 10, 15 years ago used to be as incredibly strong as they were, because they were essentially training in a lot of similar ways as strength athletes would actually do. So it made them incredibly strong while also being insanely jacked. So it's something that absolutely works. Thank you for watching. Last in Conditioning, signing out.